Hey everyone, just a heads up, this episode contains a little bit of colorful language.
I'm emotionally repressed.
I kind of thought that was like a shtick.
No. I mean, I write all the stuff because, then I don't have to live it.
Whoa.
She's like, I got him. My favourite thing to do is new material. It's not really saying, is this funny when you try something? What you're saying is, am I insane? I think if you look hard enough at anyone, you can love them.
I'm Rachel Martin, and this is Wildcard, the game where cards control the conversation. Each week, my guest chooses questions at random from a deck of cards. My guest this week is Brett Goldstein. Brett Goldstein may have become a global sensation for playing a deeply cynical soccer player in Ted Lasso, but at his core, Brett is a guy who loves a big, open-hearted story, one that isn't embarrassed to show all its feelings, which is what Ted Lasso is all about, and the hit show Shrinking, both of which have Goldstein's creative fingerprints all over them. As if creating massively popular TV shows wasn't enough, and hosting his own podcast, Brett Goldstein is out with a new stand-up comedy special on HBO. It is called The Second Best Night of Your Life. Brett Goldstein, welcome to Wildcard.
That was a heck of an intro. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
nice
man.
to see you.
It's nice to
meet
see you too. Thank you for doing this. All right.
Let's do it.
This is going to be fun. 1, 2, or 3.
2.
What's a tradition or ritual that feels unique to your family?
My dad, I don't know where this came from or why it started. And I really don't. And I hope there's not a dark story behind it. But he used to do, when we were little, he did a thing where everyone was called Trevor. And so he'd come home from work and he'd have like a bag of chocolates, candies for the Americans, sweeties. And they would be like in a brown paper bag, and me and my sister would be there, and he'd be like, and for Trevor the Great, or Trevor the Stupid, or Trevor the Funny, or each of us was an adjective, Trevor the something, depending on, I don't know, what was going on. And then we went with a load of people once to Universal Studios when they had like the ET ride, maybe they still do.
Yeah. And
you give your name when you queue up, and at the end of it, ET would go, "Thank you, Brett," as you went past, right? But my dad, this is funny. I forget he was really funny. He made all of us say Trevor. So the end of the ride, there's like 20 of us, and it looked like it was broken because ET was just going, "Thank you, Trevor, 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 Trevor." It was funny. But I don't know where the fuck Trevor came from.
I don't know who Trevor is.
I don't want to know who Trevor is.
Okay, 3 more cards.
1.
What's an early memory of appreciating beauty?
I don't know if this is too woo-woo, but I know that, well, I stand by it, to be fair. I was in, I was like always atheist, like always thought that there's nothing to it and it's all just sort of random chaos. And I was in Barbados, and I was sat on a rock in the sea, and in front of me was the whole horizon, nothing but ocean, sorry, for the Americans. And it was the sunset, and it was so beautiful. It was so fucking beautiful. And I thought to myself, if there is nothing else, there is no God, there is no nothing, why do I feel the profound urge to say thank you? And that was, you know what I mean? I was like, why do I need to say thank you if this is all just
random
absolute
beauty.
chaos?
Yeah, that's a big one. How old were you? Like, when did this happen?
I don't know how old I was. Like, I don't know. So when I started thinking that God was the sun. I basically was like, oh, God is the sun, basically, and that's your all the religions get in the way. All the religions are like middlemen, like brokers, going, oh, you want to talk to God? Yeah, I'll
They're
hook
like
you
the
up.
Sunglasses. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the sun is just there. You just look up. There it is.
Yeah.
There's everything you need.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
But really, I'm still curious. Was this like a young thing? Was this
No,
you in
I
your
think
20s?
I was like
this yesterday?
early 20, 19, around then, 1920, maybe a bit older. But I'd always been like a sort of cynical, like, yeah, man, fuck it. And then I was like, oh, shit, it's the sun.
Do you actually say the words or feel the...
I do.
You do. You say out loud,
I
thank
do.
you. Yeah.
I say thank you a lot.
Yeah.
I say, the words I use most are thank you and sorry. They're my 3 most used words.
Those are good words.
Yeah, thank you, sorry.
Yeah.
Please, thank you, sorry.
There you go. Let's talk about your special. The special's a big deal. What was it that pushed you forward into that space? Were you craving the audience interaction that you get from stand-up?
I've done stand-up for like 17 years now, and I love it, and I always do it. Even when I've been making shows and stuff, I still go and do...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like most weeks I'll do
Most weeks?
some gigs. Yeah. Making a TV or film is wonderful and a privilege and amazing, but it's hard. One of the things that's hard about it is you're managing 200 people and you're managing execs and you're trying to keep a vision and you're having to yes and things, and the thing takes so many turns and you're trying to keep it on a certain path and all of that. And stand-up is the opposite. You go, I just had this thought, I can say it right now and let's see what happens. And I don't have to check with anyone. I don't have to fucking sell it. I just have to try it. And it's incredibly satisfying when it works. And I also think I feel a bit mad when I don't do it. Like I feel a bit I think it's like heroin. As in, I think the first time I did it was a huge rush. I don't think I've ever felt that rush since, but when I don't do it, I feel depressed.
Yeah. I can't imagine the rush that one would get from that.
But it's also the thing of like, I think, I have thought about this because I've been asked like, oh, why do you do stand-up? I think what stand-up is, my favourite thing to do is new material. New material nights are my favourite. And when I do new material, I realise it's not really saying, is this funny when you try something? What you're saying is, am I insane? That's really what every piece of new material is me
Based
going.
on the reaction?
Yeah,
how do
am
you
I
measure
insane?
the answer to that question?
Well, because if they laugh, it depends on if they laugh, it's like, oh, I'm not alone. You also think this. Or you can tell, or sometimes, no, you are insane, but it's okay. We get it. If they don't, if it doesn't work, then you truly feel insane. Then you go, oh, I am a very weird person. And that's a horrible feeling.
And alone, yeah. But,
yeah, I'm completely alone. And I'm not part of this world.
So is that a good segue? No, in your show, when you didn't have a good segue, you just turned around and you said,
Yeah.
I don't have a good transition for this, so I'm just going to turn around. So This is me turning around, coming back. Ted Lasso is coming back for a 4th season.
Yeah.
Didn't you go through this whole like emotional saying goodbye to this show?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
It was very emotional.
I thought
it's
so.
A strange... Yeah, it was. We all cried. I have a friend that I went to university with. I think about this a lot. He had a cat that died. His cat loved his cat, and the cat was run over. And they buried the cat. Buried it. And he was a child. They buried the cat in the garden, and he lay in bed so sad, so upset and crying, and he prayed and he prayed and he wished, I wish the cat would come back. And then the cat did come back, and it turned out that the cat that they'd buried wasn't their cat. And I think about that all the time. Because I'm like...
accidentally buried a different cat?
They buried a different cat. And so I'm like, no wonder this guy's fucked in the head, because he thinks death isn't real. So of course he's insane. He's such a weird guy. Because he thinks he can bring things back from the dead.
Did you bring Ted Lasso back from the dead?
I guess I'm saying I feel like that kid, like, we buried it.
I was there.
He's saying
you were there.
He's saying anything could happen. Yeah. We all cried. We had a funeral. Are you saying we can bring anything back? Like, it's too much power.
It's too much power. But I'm sure you're all very thrilled. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Are you writing this
Yes.
thing right now? Like, where are you in the process?
Yes, in the writer's room at the moment, yeah. And that's obviously all I can tell you, I'm afraid.
But can I also ask you about shrinking?
You can. You'd love you to.
I think the word earnest gets a bad rap. My
that's fair.
grandpa was named Ernest. I feel very strongly about the word. They're both very earnest shows.
Yeah, that's very
And
nice.
Shrinking, it gathered these people together who genuinely seemed to enjoy one another's company. I mean, maybe it was the same on Ted Lasso, but according to my Instagram feed, everybody's like in love with it. Like they just are all best friends. Is that
That's true.
true? Yeah.
Yeah. The second pilot I did in LA was for Bill Lawrence. And I remember on day one of it, I was just there as an actor, and he said to the cast, I don't want anyone going back to their trailers. You hang out. You hang out here between takes. Like, this show works based on you all getting on in real life. And I think that's really true and a lovely way to work. And also, from a writing point of view, my one sort of rule of writing, which I had learned, is you have to love all your characters. You have to, even you're writing the worst people in the world, you the writer have to write them with love.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the key to it all. Even when and also I like it happens in Ted Lasso and it happens in Shrinking, taking a bad person and then humanizing them and giving them love and then making it harder and harder for an audience to hate them is interesting to me.
Yeah.
And the earnest thing is like, I don't know, like it's easy to be cynical. It's harder to be. It's harder. And I proudly think Shrinking is fucking funny.
It is.
It's really funny.
You can be both earnest and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not embarrassed to be like, hey, man. Hey, guys. We got feelings and shit, right?
Okay, we're getting back into the game. 1, 2, or 3?
3.
What's your shortcut to a good cry?
The Stevie Wonder song Lately. That'll do me.
I don't know this song, so now I'm saying it to everyone. So I need you to give me like a couple bars or something.
It's like, lately I've been staring in the mirror. It's basically he's realizing that the person he's in love with is not in love with him anymore. And she's definitely he's starting to realize that she's having an affair, and she keeps telling him it's fine, everything's fine, but he knows it's not fine. It's a very sad song, but it's a beautiful tune, and he sounds really upset. He's really singing like it's happening.
So do you ever feel like you want to cry, so you turn it on, or it's just when you catch it, then it's just like Waterworks Central?
Oh no, I hate experiencing emotions and do my best to avoid them at all times, but I do go to the cinema alone to get them out.
For real?
And then, for real, yeah.
Do you cry a lot? Like, is that part of your personal brand?
Get the fuck it. No, I never cry. Shut up. I haven't cried in years.
Shut up.
I mean, I cry at films in real life.
You do?
I cry in films, but do I cry in real life? I don't.
I guess I thought you might be like a closet crier. I don't know. The stuff you write
I'm emotionally
is so...
repressed.
You're emotionally repressed? For real? I kind of thought that was like a shtick.
No. I mean, I write all this stuff because, then I don't have to live it.
Whoa.
She's like, I got him. I got him.
I think it sounds exhausting to live like that.
Oh, I never sleep.
Really? You don't get very much sleep.
I don't. Next question. All right, 2.
What does age teach you about love?
I read something that Steve Martin said. Oh, I believe maybe it was in his book, Born Standing Up. I can't remember. Forgive me for not remembering where it was. But he said that he found stand-up harder as he got older because maybe not stand up. Forgive me for misquoting. He found the comedy part harder because he had more empathy for people. So it was harder to be mean. And I guess that's where comedy was. I think what age teaches you about love, that was the question, is that it's what I try to write about, and what I feel is most people are, I do believe most people are sort of trying, and everyone's sad and everyone's like, I think if you look hard enough at anyone, you can love them. You know, if you're like trapped with someone, you're like, oh, fucking hell, this person's so boring, this person's so shit. That's on you. Like, I have to ask the right question. And I'm sure there is a key to this person, that if I ask the right question, I will suddenly be flooded with love for them.
Can I nudge on that?
No.
How did you come to that realization?
I think I've had this cycle with people. I have it where, and I try to make the cycle shorter, but I've had it on jobs or something where there's a person that I will instantly dislike, whether they trigger me or, you know, something about them I find so annoying, or they're so fucking pathetic. Something about them, I'm like, God, get this person away from me. And then something will happen along the way. A couple of weeks in, I'll see something, I'll see anything, and suddenly I will fight to the death for that person. Like, I'll be like, I have so much love for them.
Are you good at telling people after you've come to that, like, that arc?
I wouldn't say, I thought you were an absolute nightmare. And I was wrong. Because often they still are. I mean, there's a certain type of person where it's like, you are still a nightmare, but I've now found a way to...
Right, that's right.
have empathy and love you.
And they probably think the same about you.
No, come on. Be ridiculous.
This is the final round. 1, 2, or 3.
3.
How have your feelings about God changed over time?
Well, I think we addressed this. I think that God is the sun, basically.
And you didn't used to think that?
I didn't used to think. I used to think there was no God, and now I'm like, oh, it's the sun. And by which I mean the universe. But I also do mean the sun. What are bit sun people?
Aztecs? Mayans?
Yeah, I think I'm an Aztec. Yeah, something like that. Aztec, Mayan, something like that.
Any religious upbringing?
I was like atheist always. Always thought it was all stupid. Until that sunset.
Does that extend to you beyond, wow, this is really beautiful and it's not just random?
Well, as in, do I think things are...
Is there a
meant to be and
pattern?
stuff
Is
like
there,
that?
yeah, things that are meant to be, or is it just all random?
No, I don't think it is all random. But it's hard to... It is, you know, the impossibility of existence is it's hard to square the magical things with the terrible things. But I do think... You know what? Sometimes when like a really terrible thing happens, I like wonder if it's... I thought about it like, is it like an angel having a bad day? Like they dropped the thing they were supposed to hold this thing and they dropped it. And they're like, oh, fuck.
And then there's like an earthquake.
And that's... Yeah, or someone dies or someone, you know, some sad thing happens. It's like... an angel dropped it. You know what I mean? Like they had a plan. The plan was lovely things, and then, oh, fuck. I slipped, and now loads of people are dead. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm with you on that one, but
Okay.
if that works for you, then I want that to be your framework.
Well, we can't square it, can we?
No, we can't.
Because we can't. I like the idea that everything's preordained, but then why preordain terrible stuff? But then so many magical things also happen.
And you're fine with that level of uncertainty. It's not unsettling to you.
Look,
Yeah.
it's about gratitude. And the more you practice it, the more you see wonderful things around you, even in terrible things. And I do kind of believe this thing of you make your own world, by which you see the world how you see the world. And if you walk down the street and you step in a puddle, that can be, oh, fuck, everything's awful. I've stepped in a puddle and my leg is now wet. But at the same time, if the sun was out and there was a beautiful person across the street that you were looking at when you stepped in that puddle, and there was music in the air and there was a song you liked, and there's 5 other things happening exactly at the same time that were beautiful. And if you're paying attention, you go like, bigger picture, this wasn't the worst thing that ever happened. It was just a little bit in this lovely picture. You know what I mean?
I do.
And the more you've
I do.
practiced that, train your brain to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do new cards.
3. Sorry for the sigh.
How often do you think about death?
I think about death all the time. I do a podcast about death. I'm interested in death.
Why does it occupy that much
Well,
space?
I think because it's this thing of... I don't think we talk about it enough. It's not in the... It's everywhere all the time. And it's a motivating... For me, it's very motivating, I think. And I like the conundrum of, would you choose to live forever if you could? And I think no, because then...
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. So it does make everything matter. But then it also, there is a part of me that's like, listen, I'm a workaholic. I fucking do stuff all the time. And I'm sure part of that is because I'm going to be dead soon. You know what I mean? Got to get this shit done. And, but then also I think there's more to it. What else is there to think about? Why are we always just talking about death?
So in your newfound religiosity or spirituality, I guess.
Aztec mind, yeah.
In your new Aztec mind, do you think that you die and that's it? You're done?
I think the closest version of it, and I don't say this as a joke, is the Pixar film Soul. I think is basically what I think. I think you go up, you have some fun, and then you come back for a whole new adventure.
Reincarnation.
Aztec mind, Buddhist.
You like the idea of that kind of continuity?
I don't know if I like the idea, as in, because part of me goes...
I mean, forever's a long time to keep coming back.
Yeah, and that's the thing that bums me out about it. Also, I've had such a lucky time that I'm like, God, my next life, I don't know what. It seems like this was a nice one. Next one, fuck knows. I'm going to be, you know what I mean? I'm going to be a worm. I'm going to be a fucking worm that gets shit on or something. Do you think nothing happens?
No, well, I don't know is my answer. I mean, who does, right? No one knows.
I think I was pretty clear that Pixar knows exactly what's going on.
Pixar's cracked the code to the afterlife.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before, but when my mom died, she was really good at creating this narrative for my siblings and I that she was going to live in the wind. And that was so helpful.
Oh, wow.
It's so, because wind is everywhere,
that.
right? Wind is everywhere. And you can see it manifest in how it moves things.
Yeah.
So I love that idea. So I just...
Do you talk to her in the wind?
Yeah. Well, now you're going to make me cry, Brett Goldstein. But yeah, it was... I think she knew what she was talking about. I think on the one hand, it was a helpful story to tell us. But now that I'm on the other side of it...
Yeah.
And I see that happen, like, I think maybe she knew.
God, that's very special. And I bet sometimes a wind will happen and it will make you think it's a sign that you needed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I like that very much.
Well, thanks for letting me tell you.
Thank you for sharing it.
Well, this got serious all of a sudden. Okay. It's the last one. 1, 2, or 3.
1.
Are you comfortable with being forgotten?
Great question. Legacy. Does it matter? Does anything matter? It'll all be gone in a life cycle of 150 years. I think there's someone I won't name who is a creative, famous creative, who said, I don't care about legacy anymore, just make stuff. And I noticed that their output got steadily worse. It's interesting.
That is interesting.
And I'm not saying the two are connected, but I thought that is interesting. And I don't think I think in terms of that, like as in, I just want to make really, really, really good stuff always. I just want to make really good stuff. Whether it outlasts me, I don't actually think about. I think Alan Bennett said it, that there's something magical like reading a book from 200 years ago, that if you read it and you feel a connection to it, that it is like a hand reaching from the past to hold yours. And I sort of buy that in terms of art or whatever this thing is. Like, you know, It's a Wonderful Life. People still watching it. And in fact, it didn't work at the time. It wasn't successful. And now it's this thing that people watch every year, and it helps them. Like, that's kind of amazing.
You'd like to make something like that lives that long.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Have a go. but I don't think you can work thinking that in your head, because otherwise you'll be frozen.
Yeah.
You just have to just make stuff for the present.
Right.
And whether anything lasts, it's out of our hands. But
I mean,
it'd be nice.
Artists are lucky that way, that you have a mechanism to do it. But it always kind of freaks me out that I don't know the name of like my great-great-grandfather. Do you know the name of your great-great-grandfather?
Yeah.
Or grandmother? I don't know.
That's a great question.
I can guess, because everyone, I mean, it's probably Henry, like everyone in my family.
Right.
Charles, something. But I don't know. The legacy is so short-lived for most of us, you know? People remember you.
That's what I mean.
Then you're just gone. So yeah.
And there's also like weird... There's a TV show, I don't want to name, maybe I won't name it, out of sort of respect.
Yeah.
But there was a TV show in England that was like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it was the biggest show on British TV, like the number one watched show. And it was a sitcom and it ran for like 8 years, 10 years. No one talks about it now. No,
Isn't that
like
weird?
No one. It wasn't. Yeah, it is weird. It was insanely popular, and it's dead. It's fascinating. I don't know why. It just doesn't resonate beyond the time it was in.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So you can't set that as an expectation for yourself as a human or as an artist, as a human artist.
No. But are you asking me, would it be nice? Of course it would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't go into it going, I hope this lives forever. I think like that.
This is the way we end every episode. You pick one moment from your past. It is not a moment you would change anything about, okay?
Okay.
It's just a moment you would linger in a little longer.
I absolutely can't tell you my first answer. Second answer would be you're sort of saying like, what's the happiest?
People don't do happiest necessarily. Just like a thing you want to sit in because you want to find out what happens, or it did make you happy, or there's a longing associated with the memory, or I don't know, first thing that comes to mind.
I mean, for real, I say it in the special, but I really mean it was the best day of my life when I went to Sesame Street.
Give it to me.
After I did all my stuff, and they were very, very nice to me, and they still had more stuff to shoot, and they said, would you like to go, or would you like to hang out? And I was like, I'll fucking hang out. And I watched a group of grown people, older than me, I believe, lying on their back on skateboards, with cat puppets on their hands, riding into each other and pretending and playing catch, trying to catch a ball in the air whilst making cat noises. And I thought, this is fucking brilliant. And I did think I would like to retire here on Sesame Street and just do any job on this. Like, it was truly like a collective, everyone imbuing this thing with magic. And it was so fun and so lovely and so stupid. Just these fucking adults on skateboards smashing into each other and going, "Wee, wee, 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 wee." And I thought, that's fucking great. It's great. I would have extended the day at Sesame Street. And the fact that it wasn't, at no point are they going, this is mad, isn't it? Like, this is the job.
Yeah.
And they're doing their job. Took it, seriously enough. They care about it being good. It's still good stuff. And at the same time, they're pretending to be cats and and ramming at each other at speed on skateboards.
Just think about people rolling around. It's like pure joy.
Oh, and the reason the special is called The Second Best Night of Your Life is because of Sesame Street. Because I did Sesame Street and it was the best day of my life. And the problem is I'm still alive. And so every day is a, vague disappointment. So I wanted this special to be good, but I didn't want it to be so good that you had nothing to live for. So it's the second best. I still wanted to give you somewhere to go,
Yeah. You have to have.
You gotta have hope.
Hope. Brett Goldstein, thank you for doing this. It's been really fun to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. This has been a very intense therapy session, and I am filled with regret for everything that I've said, and I will do my damnedest to get this all deleted. Thank you for your time.
My work here is done.
The Second Best Night of Your Life is available April 26th on HBO. Brett Goldstein, thank you so much.